Let's cue up some good music. Let's put on some Swedish hip-hop, you know. Yo everyone! Welcome to Rick Raid. And today I am going through the blessings. Just a disclaimer before we start is that I am not an expert at this game. Nowhere close as good as other content creators, but I'm gonna talk about the blessings and maybe learn along the way as well. Because I don't have a single clue on what all the blessings do. In this video, I'm gonna take some time and read them and make sure I know them so I can teach you guys. So yeah, I hope you get what I mean. But the main point is I'm gonna learn along the way while doing this video, so... But let's break them down real quick and hope we can learn a thing or two. We start off with Indomitable Spirit, which... my first take on this is that it's really trash. Just by reading it, I have never seen anyone use it, I have never used it myself. And has a chance of blocking any stun, sleep, fear, true fear, blah 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 debuffs whenever an enemy tries to place them on this champion. 1 turn cooldown as well. So 1 star, 5% chance, which is real bad. I mean, we can skip to 5 stars, which is only 15% chance of blocking these debuffs. Which is insanely bad. I mean, also it has, I mean, let's say you block True Fear. Then 50% chance to block True Fear. And then you have a 1 turn cooldown as well, so you're gonna get fucked anyways. At 6 star, the best blessing, 6 star fully maxed out, you get 30% chance of blocking. I don't even see how this is remotely close to good in any circumstance. I mean, if they bump this up to 75% chance, maybe? It might be useful, I don't know, I don't think so. I mean, also Pinpoint just released. That set destroys this blessing, so... To make this slightly good, I would say 75% chance on all debuffs in the game. That might be useful, you know. Worst I've ever seen so far. And yeah, I know, we are only 1 blessing in, but yeah. Miracle Heal. Has a chance of restoring a portion of any destroyed max HP whenever this champion heals themselves or an ally. The amount of HP restored is equal to the percentage of the heal. Yeah, this is a blessing I have never used. And I would say, this far in my raid journey, I'm on a level like 82. I really don't have any problems with destroyed max HP. I probably will have this problem later on, but I have not faced any problem with this yet, so... And I mean, this is totally worthless in PvP, I guess. At least, if you ask me, I don't have the knowledge, but just by looking at it, it kind of sucks for PvP at least, so... Purely a PvE blessing. And I guess, I mean... The only one I know that destroys max HP is Sanddevil. And the most people like she's the Sanddevil with the Godseeker and a Ninja anyway, so... But yeah, I don't know, it might be good, but if you ask me, it's kind of trash. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I put this as trash. 100% chance to restore max destroyed HP when healing. Restored destroyed max HP equal to 30% of the heal. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I only know Sanddevil that reduces or destroys max HP. And yeah, this feels really niche, so it looks really bad. I would not use it anywhere. Iron Will. Increase the damage this champion receives according to the number of debuffs on them. Doesn't increase the damage from poison, HP burn, and bomb debuffs. Okay. By reading this, it also looks weak. Decrease the damage is, I mean... So every debuff I get, I will take less damage basically. So at 1 star, I will only receive 0.5% less damage for 1 debuff. And it's not all debuffs, it's excluding poison, HP burn, and bomb. And we skip to 6 star. Decrease the damage received by 2%. So let's say I have 5 debuffs on me. I will take 10% reduced damage. Do I understand this correctly? Okay. This seems real bad. Insanely bad. Too low. And by looking at it, to buff this blessing up, I would remove this. Make it all debuffs, of course. Also like 5% maybe for 6 star. So if you have 10 debuffs, 50% reduced damage. I mean, I don't feel like that is too much. I don't even know if it would be good even with 5% per debuff, so... But yeah, looks like trash. Heavenscast. Increase damage inflicted by this champion according to the number of buffs on them. Doesn't increase the damage from poison, HP burn, and debuffs. Okay, so this is basically Iron Will, but reversed. We go with buffs now and we go with damage increase. Would have the same numbers? Yeah, exactly the same numbers. Yeah, I mean buffs is easily obtainable. in PV at least, and PvP I guess. So let's say I get 5 buffs, I do 10% more damage. This is pretty solid to be honest, but this is also 6 star. I mean realistically you have like a 3 star maybe. If you have max buffs on you with a 3 star blessing, you will do 10% more damage. So yeah, okay, 10% more damage basically if you have 10 buffs, but realistically you probably have like 3 to 5. So yeah, feels a bit weak actually. But yeah, I guess if you're purely a nuker and you don't... I mean, if we compare to Nature's Wrath, which does damage inflicted by this champion by 2% for each debuff they place. I mean, 6 star... I mean, 1 star gives you 6% more damage if you place 3 debuffs. Let's say you have an AoE decrease speed like Thor has. On 1 star it does 6% more damage. See what I'm saying? But yeah, then you need to debuff the target, I get that. And you need accuracy, etc, etc, but yeah, I feel like it's kind of similar to this one, excluding the debuff portion of this. And I think it's good, but not so good. I actually have Theox with this blessing. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. It feels weak, but it's probably better than I think, you know. I mean, 10% flat damage for 5 buffs is pretty nice, I guess. Especially if you have a damage dealer that doesn't debuff. And then we got Intimidating Presence. I mean, this blessing, I think it's fucking insane. The more I look at this is insane because strengthens your team's aura and weakens the enemy team's aura. You cannot have multiple champs with this blessing. Only one will work, yeah. If champs on the same team have the both presence and commanding presence, only Intimidating Presence will work. Okay, good to know. This is an insanely good PvP blessing. But the more I look at it, I even feel like it's insanely good for PvE as well, you know? I mean, by looking at it, I mean, I think this blessing is insanely good for PvP. And I mean insanely good. I mean, you have to have one with this blessing. I mean, 1 star, you lower the enemy by 5% and increase yours by 2.5%. That can shift the speed a lot, you know? Also, at like 5 star and 6 star, look at this. Strength of your teams are about 35%, man. Holy shit, that's a lot. And weakens the enemy team's aura by 20%. But the question is it additive to the aura, or is it like, by additive I mean like if you have a 20% increase speed aura and you get another 35%, do you get 55% or do you get like 30%, which means 35% of 20%, you know? Let me do some real quick googling here. Yeah, by googling it is multiplicative, I think it's called in English. Basically, if you have, to make it easy, if you have 100% increase, that is the worst example I can make. Never mind. If I have 20% increase speed, aura, and I increase it by 35%, I will get like 28 or something. Basically, I'll do the formula on the right here. But it's not additive, so it's not 20 plus 35%. But yeah, it's still insanely strong. And the more I look at it, it's also strong for PvE, you know? Also, one more thing that I didn't know before starting this video is I was so sure you had to use this blessing in an aura lead. For example, I had to have this blessing on my Armans, for example. Look at this, I'm gonna show you. I have the blessing on Armans because I thought I had to have him in the lead for this to work, but I have also understood that you don't even need to have this blessing as a leader. You can have it as a secondary play. I mean, for example, I can show you. Let's take a fight there. For this is, for example, here, I have Armans as a lead. That's how I thought it worked. I need to have him as a leader to make it work, you know. But if I do like this, it still will work. As long as you have this in your team, it will decrease their aura and increase your aura. So basically, you can have anybody with this aura and it will decrease and increase your aura. That I did not know, which is also insanely good. So I mean, I rank Intimidating Presence very high for PvP and PvE. And Lightning Cage. This is a blessing I have never really understood. And Lightning Cage. This is a blessing I don't really have read closely. I just faced it. Whenever an enemy receives a buff or has the turn meter filled, place 1 Lightning Orb stack on the champion. When activated, a Lightning Orb stack randomly protects one other active buff from being removed, stolen or transferred. After activation, the Lightning Orb stack disappears. The champion can have a maximum of 3 Lightning Orbs stacks at one time, okay? Whenever a champion with 3 Lightning Orb stacks hits enemy targets, inflicts bonus damage to them based on their max HP, okay? Bonus damage can occur on each hit of skill, but does not count as an extra hit. After the bonus damage applied, all likely. Okay. So basically, to make it short. This protects a buff from becoming stolen, removed, or transferred. I'm guessing 3 stacks is the maximum. Yeah, maximum of 3 lightning orbs. Yeah, okay. Basically, you have 3 stacks at all times, more or less. Bonus damage is inflicted by each 5% of champ's max HP or 2.5% of both. Okay. So if you have, so it does some extra damage and also protect this, and also protects your, and it to me it looks like a PvP blessing for sure. And there are other PvE blessings that beats this one if by looking at it. Well, I see this some from time to time in arena, so I guess it's viable for PvP. And I feel like it's pretty valuable for like 1 or 2 or 3 stars. Gains 1 lightning orbs whenever enemy receives a buff, okay. And the 6 star doesn't even say. I don't know why they don't show the full text, but I guess it does all this plus this, so it's basically more damage the more blessings you have. But it's not easier to get any orb stacks or whatever. It's just but yeah, at 1% you have 50% chance to protect a random buff from being stolen, and at 5 star you have 75%. So it's basically no different from 1 to 4 when it comes to percentage of protecting the buffs. The only thing it increases is, I don't even know what okay, this is a bit tricky to read, to be honest. There is some small increases and conditioning increases as well on each blessing. So 1 star, whenever enemy receives a buff, you get a lightning orb. Whenever enemy receives a buff or has the thermometer fill, okay, so this condition enters at 3 blessings. Okay. 4 star, nothing happens. 5 stars, bumps up from 50% to 75% chance. Okay, so pretty much a 3 star is good. 5 star only gives you a little bit better chance to protect the buff, okay, and 6 stars just gives you more damage basically. So like a 3 star is worth it, I would say, for lightning orb. 6 star, I don't know, I think it's better blessings out there, more or less. But yeah, like I said, I'm not an expert at this game. To me this looks like half decent PvP blessing. It's probably better than my first look at it. It looks half bad, and it's only good for arena, I guess. Okay, let's move to the dark section. Dark Resolve. Increase the damage inflicted by the champion according to the number of dead allies on their team. Doesn't increase the damage from poison, HP burn, and bomb debuffs. Okay. 6 star, 5% damage for each dead ally. This is real trash. I mean, we want our allies alive, man. This is so conditional. I don't even have to read anything more because this looks real trash. Never use this. I mean, compare this 5% damage for each dead allies versus 2% damage for each buff. I mean, really conditional. I don't even know if it has any use ever. Guess, I mean, I'm not the best at arena as well, but it maybe has some uses for arena, but it feels really sketchy to play with. I mean, if you have like a weird ass arena strategy with people dying and stuff, this might be worth putting on, but I don't know. Looks like complete trash. Phantom Touch has a chance of inflicting bonus damage to one enemy whenever this champion hits an enemy target. When hitting multiple targets at once, only one champion will receive bonus damage. Has a chance of inflicting a second instance of bonus damage. Yeah, this is an insanely good blessing for rare champions. I would say every damage dealer who is a rare will have this blessing, I guess. I mean, it counts as an extra hit against like Fire Knight. I have this on my Cold Art, for example, which is really nice. And I mean, at 6 star blessing, you have a 100% chance of inflicting bonus damage plus a 35% chance of inflicting a second instance of bonus damage. So you can tag down the Fire Knight shield real fast with this on the Cold Art. So, but yeah, like 1 star 15%, 3 star 30% chance isn't the best. 5 star, I would say have 6 star on this blessing if you have, of course. But this is where it shines, you know. And it scales off attack. So if you have like HP champion or a defense champion, it's useless, I would say. Cruelty. Whenever this champion hits an enemy, decrease their defense until the end of the round, occurs once per hit. If multiple champions have this blessing, skill cannot decrease a single champion's death by more than 40% or decrease a boss death by more than 20%. This is the one you pick when you don't have any other good options because this stacks fast. Yeah, this is a PvE blessing, I would say. This is too slow for PvP. This is an insanely good blessing. And we need to cap a 20% decrease defense. And basically, if you don't have this in your like dungeon team, you should have like 1 or 2 with this blessing because we can lower the boss's defense by 20%. So if you have 6 star, you decrease defense by 4% per hit. So if you have like a 6 star blessing, you basically only need 1, I guess. And if you have like 2 or 3 stars only, You might need a second champion with this blessing in order to stack the defense up quickly. But for example, if you have this on, well, let's say Cold Dark, for example. If you do one A1, you're probably capped, you know, if you have 6 stars. But yeah, you need to do the math here. But it's not worth having like 5 champions with this blessing, because then you will overstack quickly, you know. You need to do the math here, but yeah, a decent blessing for sure for epics. Then we have a Lethal Dose. This is a blessing I have never chosen. Increase the damage enemies receive from poison buffs placed by the champion in the arena. In the arena, okay. Basically only a PP blessing. Okay, so this basically is a blessing to land the poisons and do more damage with the poisons. Okay. 50% more damage with 1 star. 100% more damage with 3 star. 200% 5 star. Will ignore 35% of each target's resistance when placing poison debuffs on enemy. And also, they do 200% more damage. I don't know, I don't have any good poisoners, but this looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's good, but it looks really cool. But I mean, I guess Polymorph counters this hard, I guess. And I mean, if I do the math correctly here, if I put on a 5% increased poison, they get improved by 200%, which will make it 15% damage per tick, I guess. So if you have 7 poisons, they will die, right? There are probably some really cool strategy with this. I don't know it. You can look it up probably if you have a good poisoner, but cool blessing, but I have never used it. But yeah, it looks like it's only for arena, so never even consider this for PvE. But I have rarely seen it. Temporal Chains. Decrease each enemy's speed for each active buff they are under, except for the buffs placed at the start of the round, okay? Whenever an enemy receives a third active buff, instantly decreases the turn meter of all enemies by a certain amount. Spontaneously, it looks like a really cool arena blessing. I have faced this many times, but I haven't really sat down and read the blessing, to be honest. I mean, so it's kind of cool for me too to do the deep dive of the blessings. So, I mean, if you find this helpful in any way, or if you learn by just listening to me going through the blessings, feel free to subscribe, man. It means a lot to me, and I like doing the videos for you guys, and it would mean a lot. So, thank you for watching, and let's continue. Decrease enemy speed by 2% for each active buff. Okay, up to 6%, okay. Pretty solid though, for 1 star, I would say. Let's move it down to like 5 star. Decrease enemy speed by 5% for each active buff. Okay, so the team will fucking destroy themselves, all the buff teams. Okay. Instantly decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15% whenever an enemy receives a third active buff. Okay. My first initial thought is this is only an arena blessing, but I think it works everywhere. I need to look this up, but I mean, if you decrease the speed PvE as well, I mean, that is insane, you know. Man, a real solid blessing. And also, guys, please feel free to correct me if I am way off on explaining something, and don't be afraid to set me straight in the comments, you know. Oh, I saw this as well. It's a 4-turn cooldown, so you cannot spam decrease the turn meter of all enemies, but it's a 4-turn cooldown. But yeah, looks cool. I need to look this up and maybe use this myself in some teams, you know. Ward of the Fallen. First off, I have basically never seen this. Well, I have seen this in some arena teams, I guess, but I haven't really found this hard to face. Start each round with a number of bone armor stacks. Each bone armor stack decreases the damage the recipient receives from a single hit, then disappears. A champion can have a maximum of 3 bone armor stacks at one time. Deals bonus damage to each hit by this champion. The number of times bonus damage is inflicted on each enemy target is equal to the number of dead allies. Bonus damage is proportional to this champ's stack. Adds 1 bone armor stack for each instance of bonus damage inflicted. This is a weird blessing. Bonus damage will not be inflicted when damaging enemies through monsters, passive skills, inflicted damage, poison, or HP burn. This is basically like a tank blessing. So bone armor decreases 20% damage per stack at 1 star, which is cool. That's a lot, you know. So basically, the first hit every round, you take 20% less damage. Pretty decent. Looks like a solid arena blessing. 3 stars. Starts round with 2 bone armor stacks. Okay, so basically 40%. 5 star, you get 30% decreased damage received per bone armor. And at 6 stars, you get 3 bone armor stacks. You also inflicts bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage adds 1 bone armor stack. So okay, so you get 3 bone armors with chances to get more, and it removes 30% of the damage you receive. Okay, looks like a real tanky blessing. Okay, so if you have like 3 or 4 dead people, you would do a lot of more damage. Am I understanding this correctly? Adds 1 bone armor stack for each instance of bonus damage inflicted. Bonus damage will not be inflicted when damaging enemies through the master's passive skills reflect damage. Poison nature, okay. So basically, if you have like 3 or 4 dead allies and you hit an enemy, you will get 3 bone armor stacks back. Am I understanding this correctly? If that is the case, then the 6-star blessing is insane. I'm thinking like solo dungeon runs, you know, with food. But yeah, I need to look up this more, but it looks like a real cool blessing, but I rarely see it in use, you know. But yeah, cool one. Hero Soul. Increase the damage inflicted to bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. Yeah, this is a cool rare blessing, basically. At 6-star, you deal 3% more damage for each alive enemy. Increase the damage inflicted to bosses and their minions according to the number of living enemies. Okay, so basically you do 3% more damage for each enemy that is alive. So if you have this blessing on a Cold Heart, on Spider, and you do Cold Heart's nuke attack, which is her 8-3, I think, you will do like 35% more damage, I guess, since this is additive. But yeah, also, I mean, I guess this is good for like Hydra as well. I mean, 4 enemies, 12% more damage, basically. Pretty nice, man. But yeah, bosses with no minions, I mean, then it's pretty much trash. So pretty niche, but might be worth picking up for Hydra as well, you know, and Spider. And use this blessing if you're facing bosses with a lot of enemies, and you will do more damage. It's a damage dealing blessing, so, and I guess it doesn't even work on Arena, so don't even bother. Faultless Defense. Whenever an enemy attacks an ally under increased defense, placed by this champion reflects a portion of the damage back to the attacker. Okay, at 6-star, 15% damage reflected. I use this on a few characters for my early finite builds and teams. But I don't know if I am stupid, but I felt like this doesn't work on hard finite. Because I have like a champion with this blessing, but it doesn't work on hard finite for me. I don't know why. I haven't looked it up, but so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But or have you guys tried this blessing on hard mode finite? If so, please tell me if it works for you, or if it doesn't. It's amazing for at least normal Fire Knight if you're struggling. And yeah, also it is worth noting that it does not reflect through shield. So if you have like a shield up and somebody hits you, it doesn't reflect. Also, by just saying that, that's maybe what happens for me in hard Fire Knight. I need to try this later. That's maybe why I think it doesn't work, and on normal I maybe don't run with a shield, I don't know. But yeah, really cool blessing for Fire Knight. Other than that, I don't really see it have any good use in PvP. Maybe, I guess, but I have never encountered any problems with it. Commanding Presence. This is basically Intimidating Presence, but I guess more used. Strengthen the team's order by 35%. I need to look on... Okay, so this is basically a worse version of the Intimidating Presence. So this is just better in all aspects, but the only difference is you need to have a legendary champion to use this blessing. So yeah, this is a worse version of Intimidating Presence, but useful for epics. Chainbreaker. At the start of the champion's turn has a chance to remove any stun, freeze, sleep, provoke, fear to fear petrification. Debuff placed on this champion only activates if this champion is under any of these debuffs. Okay. I mean, look at this. 6-star blessing. And you have only a 25% chance of removing debuffs. 4% chance of finishing champion's turn by turns when hit. Okay. I mean, this as well as Indomitable Spirit needs to be buffed, man. I mean, this needs to be used up to like 75% chance of removing debuffs, because 25%, man, you're dead in PvE, man. You're dead in PvP as well. Yeah, it looks like real bad. Insanely bad. I have never used it, I have never seen anyone use it, and I don't want any of you to use it. If you're using it, please explain why. Please explain. I might be wrong, but I do not see me being wrong here, so. Life Harvest. Destroys enemies max HP by a certain amount whenever they are revived. Whenever enemies are revived, partially fills this champion's turn meter for each enemy revived. Looks really weird, to be honest. Whenever they are revived, you destroy their max HP. Okay? Alright, if it's a long fight, I guess, with a lot of revives. It will eventually like kill them, I guess, but basically if you revive them 2 times, 80% of the max HP is gone. And this is a 6-star blessing. Also fills the champion who has these blessings turn meter by 30% whenever somebody is revived. But I guess in arena, if you're facing like Marichkas and Arbiters and you name it, this might fuck them up, you know. This also means you need to have a solid team to survive for long, so this gets used a lot, you know, the revives on the enemy team. But it feels niche, I guess, but I'm guessing this is a counter for all the fucking revives we are facing in the arena. And yeah, I mean, this increase of turn rate is also cool. If for example, if you have a team that makes an AoE revive, like when Marichka dies, you will basically jump in and have a turn, you know, and it might be easier to kill them again, you know, since they are missing 40% of HP. Interesting, to be honest, because at first I thought this was real trash, but now that I have read it and spent some time like thinking about some combos, I think it looks solid for arena, man. I guess I haven't really faced it yet, but I am not a high-end PvPer, so I feel like this is a really good blessing for high-end PvP. I googled this blessing, and yeah, this is a really good blessing for arena. It sucks for PvE basically, but really good counter for revive teams. So yeah, I didn't know that. Cool. Soul Reap. When the champion hits an enemy target and decreases the HP to a certain threshold, a Reaper will appear and deal extra damage equal to the target's remaining HP. For AoE attacks, each target has their HP reduced to the threshold. Just by reading this, I got like a anxiety attack, because this fucking... How many times haven't you like survived an attack and you think, yes, I survived, let's kill the enemy team, and then from nowhere a fucking Reaper pops up and slices you to bits, you know? So yeah, but yeah, move on. For AoE attacks, each target has their HP reduced to the threshold in attacks, will be visited by Reaper. The Reaper will ignore defense as well as all damage reduction skills, effects and buffs. Will not ignore damage reduction skills, effects and buffs in the target if the target is a boss. If the target survives, has a chance of placing a true fear debuff for 1 turn. Nice. Wait, so I don't know, I might be wrong here, but by reading this and then reading this, let's say I have a 6-star blessing. Let's say I hit 80% on my target. Will a Reaper come up and hit the remaining 20%? Is that how it works? So basically, whenever I hit the target down to 20% HP, the Reaper will jump up and hit him. Is that how it works? If so, looks cool. I'm not completely sure how this works. I need to look up on the internet. This is a semi-good blessing because, well, I will read exactly what they say on the Hades site. On paper, this blessing sounds amazing, but once you realize the issue of the blessing, it loses value. In arena, it will not ignore shields, nor will it ignore unkillable. And Harima is able to reduce the ignore defense. Okay. In dungeon and boss content, enemy max HP is capped at 10%. So it's useful, but you will never hit more than 10%, I guess. I will be honest, I am not completely understanding this blessing, but yeah, that's life, I guess. So if you understand this, please feel free to explain to me like I was a 3-year-old or something, because this threshold stuff I don't really get. Do I have to hit it down to 20% before it works? Or talk to me, how does it work? Emergency heal. Heals the champion whenever a shield buff placed on them expires, is removed or is broken by an enemy attack. The value of the heal is equal to a portion of the champion's max HP. 1 turn cooldown. Okay, so basically whenever a shield buff expires on a champion, you will get 3% heal back of their max HP on 1-star blessing. So basically if you have a 6-star blessing and your shield disappears, you will get an additional 50% of their max HP back as healing. I don't know. I don't really know. It might be good on some champions. For example, when a blood shield ring is expired or removed or broken, you will get healing. I use this blessing on my solo Borgoth Rask. I think I need to look it up. I think I do. Yeah, blood shield ring on with the emergency blessing. 1 star though, but every time the ring pops, I get 3% HP, so just a bit of more survivability. So yeah, pretty cool, but pretty niche blessing. Survival Instinct. Partially fills the champion's turn meter whenever a debuff is placed, spread, or traps onto them. Occurs once per turn. Whenever you get debuffed, you get a 5% turn meter fill on 1 star, but at 6 stars, you get a 10% increase, but no turn restriction. So basically, you can have this happen many times in 1 turn, but up to 5 star, it can only happen once per turn. Occurs once per turn. Okay. So yeah, I guess at 6 stars, it's pretty good, I guess, if you're a go second team in arena, I guess, or you are getting a lot of debuffs on you on like kind of a boss fight in the dungeons. I don't use it. I guess it's a decent blessing for a rare champion. Okay, Crushing Rend. Each round, the number of this champion's hits will ignore percentage of the target's defense. The percentage of ignore defense depends on the level of the target. Yeah. Every hit this champion inflicts will ignore a percentage of the target's defense. Okay. Okay, so basically, to make it short, this blessing is, as I understood it, pretty much trash until you have the 6-star blessing. Because the first hit each round will ignore. So basically, from 1 to 5-star blessing, it's either 1 hit or the first 2 hits each round that will ignore the enemy target's defense. After the first or second hit, it disappears. This blessing is useless. Up to 5 stars. Like, for example, on Hydra, you have a 5-star blessing. The first 2 hits each round will ignore the target's defense and do some nice damage. But after the 2 first hits, it's useless. It's like you don't have the blessing, you know. But when you get to 6-star, every hit will ignore a percentage of the target's defense all the time. And also his 1% defense for each 10 level of the enemies. For example, I'm looking up the Hydra's level right now. I don't even know what level the Hydra is, but can we look that up somehow? Okay, I've been doing some research. I think at hard, the Hydra level is 280, so if you have Crushing Rend 6-star and you are facing Hydra at hard, you will ignore 28% defense on every hit, which is insane. It stacks with, you know, merciless and lethal, you know, and so basically 28% more damage against Hydra. The better the enemy is, aka the higher level, the more you will hit. So this excels at 6 stars. If you only have 5-star, it's not worth it. You should go with some other blessing, Heavenscast, or like Nature Threat, for example. So yeah, good to know. I did not know this until like a few days ago. That I thought it was every hit on all the fucking stars, you know. But no, it is the 6-star that shines. Incinerate. Increase the damage inflicted by HP burn placed by this champion in the arena only, okay? Whenever HP burn placed by this champion inflicts damage on an enemy, the turn meter will also be decreased by the same amount. Only works in arena battles, okay? Okay, so this is basically like the poison, the lethal dose one, but for burn. But yeah, this seems slow. 100% more damage isn't much. If it's weak, it should be like 3, 4, 500% maybe on 5-star. 100%, it's not much at all. Okay, I've been doing some googling here. At rank 5, your HP burn will deal 6% max HP damage, which is, I mean, that is low, man. If it's been like 500%, it does like 40% damage, then we're talking, you know. But that's too much, but like at least 200 or 300%, you know. Yeah, it feels weak. 6-star decrease enemy turn meter when they receive damage from HP burn, okay. Yeah, man, feels really weak. I wouldn't use it. Okay, Polymorph. This is the one we hate and the one we love, you know. Completely useless in PvE, but at the arena it shines. So basically, whenever you get a debuff, if you have this blessing and you get debuffed, you have a 5% chance of placing a sheep debuff back to the attacker. But the debuff requires accuracy to be placed. So basically, if Neutralize hits you, you will not cheaper anyways. So yeah, you basically need accuracy to land this. But yeah, this is a nice one in arena. Also, if you have 6-star blessing, which means you don't need accuracy, and they can have as much resistance as they want. Doesn't matter. So say fuck you to Neutralize, you know. Even her can't resist this shit, you know. But yeah, this is annoying. This one destroys you, man. This is the destroyer of dreams, this blessing. Like a tag arena can go smoothly, and then all of a sudden, boom, the polymorph hits and they turn the fight around. So this is a really nice blessing for Arena. It's so frustrating to face, you know. But yeah, I'd say it's even better in live Arena, you know. Yeah, cool blessing. And let's go to Brimstone. This is a insanely strong PV blessing. Whenever the champion attacks, each hit has a chance to place a smite debuff for 2 turns. Champs under smite debuff will be hit by a meteor when you use an active skill. The meteor inflicts damage equal to 25% of the affected champion's max HP, and will also inflict damage to all other enemy champions equal to 5% of their max HP. Only one smite debuff can be activated per team at any point. This is a fucking boss nuker at early game and mid game and even late game, you know. It's really good blessing. I use it a lot in my dungeon teams. I would say it's not that good in PV, but it works, but it's not the best. But yeah, 1 star, 50% chance of placing a smite debuff. Basically it means whenever a boss or an enemy uses an active skill is not A1, but it's A2 or A3, they will get smited if they have the smite debuff on them. And that hits hard. It hits 25% of the affected champion's max HP. So yeah, it hits insanely hard, but it's capped on bosses, but it hits really hard. And yeah, 1 star, 50% chance to place it, 3 star, 30%, 5 star, 6% chance. This is where it gets really good. Also Protector Smite, it can't be cleansed, it can't be removed. They just have to tank the fucking meteor when it hits them, you know. And 6 star, 100% chance placing a guaranteed Protector Smite buff. Yeah, really good blessing. Harmony, this is the new blessings. This is the ones I don't really understand fully, but let's learn together, huh? Nourish, increase the value of the heal granted by continuous heal buffs placed by this champion. Each continuous heal buff placed by this champion restores a portion of the target's destroyed max HP. Yeah, by reading at this, it looks like a good option for a continuous heal buff placer. Also restores max HP. But yeah, this is, 6 star. And you put up, like, let's say you have a champ that puts up 2 continuous heals. Heal 60% if you have 2. It will increase the value. So let's say it's at 10%, it will get to 40, you know. It's really strong continuous heals. So yeah, pretty cool. Might be cool for like a rare champion. I don't know if there are any good rares that place continuous heals, but might be useful for some champions. Nature's Bounty. Oh yeah, this is the one that turns all the lower versions of the debuffs into greater debuffs. But yeah, I don't even feel like reading this, but for example, if you place a 2.5% poison debuff, there is a chance to place the greater version of that debuff, so it will get bumped up to at 5% poison debuff. So at 1 star, it's 15% chance to place the greater version of debuff. 3 star, 30% chance. 5 star, 45% chance to place the greater version. And a 6 star, 60% chance to place the greater version of this debuff. This can be solid for a rare, man. For example, like Bellower, I think. I'm gonna look him up. Bellower. This champ. Attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing the weak version of decreased speed, but this can be bumped up to the big version, which is insanely good. And is a 3. The weak version of attack and the weak version of defense, but this can be bumped up to the big versions if you have this blessing. So this is extremely good, unlike Bellower. And there are probably many other champions as well that it's useful on, but that is a cool blessing. I like it a lot. I think it's really useful for rares and maybe some other champs as well, but I feel like the most epics and legendaries have the best versions of the buffs, you know, of the debuffs, sorry. Yeah, let's move on. Neutralize has a chance to place debuffs on weak hits when attacking enemies on the poison cloud buffs. Yeah, this is like a straight up Hydra blessing. I think the only place where the poison cloud is placed on you is on Hydra. I don't know if there is any other place that has this debuff. So yeah, this is basically only it's a counter to the poison cloud debuff you get from the Hydra head, you know. Place debuffs on weak hits with this on poison cloud. So 6 star, 6% chance place debuffs on weak hits. So yeah, I guess it has its uses, but I'd rather just block. But I think the priority is just to don't let the head put out the buff from the start, you know, with block buffs and stuff, you know. That is the approach, I think. Or like HP burn also works against this. But yeah, I guess it has its uses, but feels like a bit, it only works in Hydra, you know, against one head, against one debuff, which is, it's too weak. But it should be 100% if you ask me, at 6 stars at least. That's my take on it, you know. And the Nature Wrath. This is the blessing that is insanely good for damage dealers, that places some kind of a debuff For example, Thor has his decreased speed, AoE. I run Thor with this blessing, 5-star blessing. Increase the damage inflicted by this champion by 3% for every debuff placed successfully, up to 15%. For example, if I do 1 or 2 decreased speed AoEs on the Hydras, then I have a permanent 50% damage the whole fight. It doesn't matter if the buffs disappear. As long as I place them once, they are set for the whole fight. So you don't have to continuously put up the debuffs. Only need to land it. You only need to land it until you're capped, and then you're good to go, you know. So basically at 5-star you get 15% more damage. This is a really nice damage blessing. But at 6 stars you get up to 30% damage. But at 6 stars, I'm pretty sure Crushing Rend dominates when it comes to damage. So to make it short, I would say 1 to 5-star blessing on a damage deal that does form of debuff. This blessing is the best. But when you go to 6 stars, Crushing Rend is the GOAT. So I think it's significantly more damage at 6 stars. So Cracking Roots. Increase the damage inflicted by this champions. Increase the damage inflicted by this champion to Stone Skin HP. Okay, this looks really bad. Increase the damage inflicted to Stone Skin by 100% at 6 stars. This is still too low. I mean, okay. It feels really low, man. It should be, I don't know, 200 or 300% at least. But it's so niche, man. It's only at Stone Skin. That is trash blessing. Trash blessing. Would never use it. Harmonic Impulse. Fills the champion's turn meter whenever they lose the turn because of a fear or true fear debuff. Also decreases the cooldown of the skill they attempt to use whenever their turn is lost due to a true fear debuff. Okay, this also feels like a Hydra blessing. You know, the Head of Torment, I think it's called. So basically, if you attempt an attack and it gets true feared, there's a chance you reduce the cooldown, okay? It also fills the turn meter. At 6 stars, reset the cooldown of the skill the champion attempts to use. Also fills 50% of the champion's turn meter, okay? So it basically neglects true fear if you have 6 stars, but not completely. It also feels like if you're gonna run this, I mean, 1 turn is nothing. 3 stars, still 1 turn. 5 star, 2 turn. I mean, you need at least 5 stars for this to be viable, if you ask me. So yeah, feels trash, man. Do you use this? I don't, but I might be wrong here, so. Okay, anyways, this was a quick rundown of the blessings. Hope we learned something. I learned a lot, actually. I have never sat down and read them. And I really hope you picked up something here as well. And if you watched the video to the end, man, you are my fucking hero, man. Thank you for watching the whole video, bro. But yeah, that was a quick rundown of all the blessings in the game currently. So yeah, take care, boys, and see you soon. Peace.